Alright, it's time to print the orbital launch integration tower, which is the most complicated part of the whole project. So this is from the More Than 3D website. It shows the whole uh, mechanism here. So it's got the tower, and it's got these things attached to the tower, like the chopstick, the quick disconnect arm. It's got a base, some shielding, some drawwork, things like that. So we're going to do it in steps, just like we did for the other ones. We're going to print the black parts first. So we'll put this aside. So here's the files that come from More Than 3D. So step one is, do not print. They have some things here that they put together into the full project. And if we look at the full tower and the base are all part of the same thing that you buy. We're not going to print this obviously, but it just gives you an idea what it's going to look like when we're done. So it's pretty big. It won't actually, the whole thing wouldn't fit on our printer to print as one thing. So, all right. So now we're going to print the different parts. We're going to start with step 2. So remember, step 1 is the whole thing. So step 2, we're going to print the first 4 parts of step 2. These parts here. So it's mostly having to do with the base. It's all having to do with the base actually. So, and so we're going to print them in black, and we're using the same parameters we'd use for black on the Starship model itself. This is PTG, just ignore that. That was just a artifact of me messing around with things without changing this to start with. So what 3D does it, you set these to the common filament types, but I forgot to do that. I'm not going to change it now. I think if I do that, it's going to reconfigure some things. So the same parameters, automatic nozzle extrusion width to give us a little bit faster printing. Layers are 0.2, and the outside perimeters 2, and top and bottom layers 3. Now we already been using some infill, so we'll talk about that later on some of the parts as we get to. We don't need any infill for these, which I'll show you. And I'm sorry, not infill, support. We're going to use some support. So the infill, we're just using the standard rectilinear infill. Yeah. Temperature is the same, 225 for the extruder and 50 for the bed temperature, and cooling is typical PLA with 0 and 100%. For speeds, I've had good luck with my printer with 3600. I tried printing some things. I printed slightly faster, but the quality goes down, and so it's not, for me, it's not worth it. I'd rather just have it print reliably. All right, so here's our print. So we're just going to see how long this takes. So over 5 hours, and so these parts don't need any support, which I said these are all solid. Now this one has a hole in it. Let's take a look at that one. See why it doesn't need support. It's just because it's sloped up here. So this can print without support. So we don't need supports on these small areas where the magnets go. So, all right. So we'll send this to the printer and see how it turns out. All right. I just realized that the orbital launch mount quick disconnect is supposed to be black. That's what the real life one is. So this piece here and the cover, we want to print black, but then the connector that actually goes to the booster, we want to have stay as gray, so then it'll be a contrasting color. So we need to remove both of these from this project, and I actually made a new project. I'll just bring that up. So we remove those two. We're going to put those in gray. The other ones will print in black. So this is going to take 2 hours and 44 minutes and 26 grams of material. So caught that before I printed it, which is nice. I should have paid a little more attention to the colors in the finished pictures he has on the website. It's done. So this is the quick disconnect, and this cover is right behind it, and then everything else on this print was for the orbital launch integration tower, which we're going to be working on next. So looks like a good print. We'll get this over to the workbench and take a look at it close up. Oh, let's see. It took 6 hours and 48 minutes to print this versus a prediction of 6 hours and 18 minutes, so half an hour longer. Alright, so I brought it over here. The quick disconnect thing came off, but this printed fine. This is the bottom surface, and then this is a bridging area here. Well, kind of a steep angle here. Could use some supports here, but I think it's fine. This is going to sit like this, so. And then here's the cover. So the cover uses a magnet. You can go here to cover it up, or up on here when it's actually providing fuel. And that silver thing we printed earlier is going to go in here. We'll deal with that later. These other pieces should come right off. So these are all printed really nicely, nice and solid, good design. And we'll be using these to build the orbital launch integration tower. Okay, it's time to print some more black parts for the orbital launch integration tower. We're still on step 2. We printed these first 4 items. Now we're going to print these last 6. So open these. Now this is the base. We're going to want to use a magnet top on this one because you can put weights in here. We want to be able to adjust that. So, and then here is couple different shields here, 3 different shields, and then this is the pipe cover. Now we need 2 of these, so, and we have a pulley here, and we need 2 of those too. So that's pretty good. Except we want to move this this guy over here by this guy, so we're going to take this guy. Now we'll save that and see how long it's going to take to print. 7 hours and 1 minute. So the parameters we're using is the same we've used for everything else. I'm not going to go over those again. There's plenty of examples of what we do here. So, all right, looks like everything came out great. Let's see how long it took. It took 7 hours and 42 minutes versus a prediction of 7 hours and 1 minute. So that's pretty good. Let's go over the workbench and we'll check out each individual piece. All right, well, this shield fell over as I was bringing it over here, but it had good bed adhesion, so it's printed up right. Let's take it off here. All right, so everything pretty much popped off. It really popped off. Okay. Here's our base. It's got more than 3D logo on the bottom. That's fine. And we're going to be putting some weights in here to figure out how to do that exactly. And then these are different shields that go on different sides of the base. So we'll figure that out when we put it together. But anyway, these all pieces all printed great. So I think we have one more set of some more black pieces going on the base. I think these are all the black pieces on the base. There's some shields that go on the side, and then of course there's the chopstick arms and the quick disconnect for the Starship. So we're going to have to figure out how to print those. So we got a good collection of base pieces now. We're keeping those in here. And we'll just keep printing, and eventually we'll get them all the pieces done. This is the biggest and most complicated print because there's so many pieces. Okay, so we need to try to find the rest of the black parts to print for the orbital launch integration tower. We might miss some. I haven't done an exhaustive search for this, so we were on. Oh, that's another thing. Those are going to be printed in gray, so that's also gray. So we were on step 2. We did the rest of the step 2, right? Okay. Now all the rest of these steps up to step 10 are all. So this is step 9. Are all part of the tower itself. Those are going to be printed in gray. So we want to find black. So the next black parts are here. These 2 pulleys, pulley 2 and pulley 3. So looking through the instructions, let's see. Looking through the instructions, there's the shields. You need multiples of these pulleys. So the pulleys first show up in step 10. That's what we're on, right? So we need 1 pulley 2 and 4 pulley 3. So we got those. So we need to duplicate those. So pulley 2, I wonder what the differences are. Oh, those look different, yeah. 1 pulley 2 and 4 pulley 3. So we need to duplicate. This is pulley 3, okay. Okay. that's that. Now, yes, these are all going to be in gray. Now the carriage. Okay, so let's go find the carriage. That's step 11. So step 11. Carriage and the traveling block. Let's get all those. Alright, so the traveling block is a place. I think that'll hold pulleys. I guess it also maybe goes up and down the. I'm not exactly sure where it goes. So, all right. So we got some pulleys, and we got the carriage, and then let's see what's the next thing. And then step 12 are the chopsticks. Okay, so let's go find step 12. It may be getting too much and too big of parts here, so let's just see if these fit. Might be too big. Yeah, so it doesn't like that arrangement, so we may have to rotate some of these. Let's rotate this one. And maybe it'll actually rotate it again. Yeah, well, maybe it'll fit now. No. Huh, seems like it would fit. Put it over here. You know what? I'm not going to try to fit these chopstick arms. That's too much stuff. And so let's just get rid of the chopstick bar too. Let's just see how long this is going to take to print. And maybe that's enough time for today. 4 hours? I'll have to get a little bit more than that. I'm going to go find the shields. So let's leave the chopstick arms alone. And let's go to, let's see, step 13. That's some more stuff. Pipe covers. I think that's what we want. Let's go check the instructions. There's the chopsticks. That's step 12. Step 13 is some more. That's the quick disconnect arm. Okay. And it tells you how to put those on. Install the pulley. Now the shielding panel is what I'm going to look for. So let's try step 16 and see if we can get those printed. There's more room on here, so. Okay, let's get those 3. Yeah, see, those are not that big, so. Now, how many of those of each do we need? So we need 5 pipe covers, 2 vertical shield bottoms, and 6 vertical. 5 pipe covers. Let's do these one at a time. Pipe covers. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then 2 vertical outer shield bottoms. Okay. 2 of those. And 6 vertical outer shields. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This might be too much. Oh, I fit everything. Alright, now how long is that going to take? I'll do that later. Yeah, so 7 out of 49 minutes, that's a good amount of time. So, alright, so I'll have to figure out what needs support. It looks like a bunch of this stuff. Yeah. So there's a bunch of support needed for these things. Okay, look this over some more, and all these parts here that need support, if you look at the bottom of them, they've got these slots here, and this is the kind of overhang here. All those should be printed upside down, because this little groove here is going to be no problem bridging that. So we're gonna get rid of the extra ones. So there's 6 of these. 6 of the vertical outer shield. So we're going to flip this over. So I think we just want to go Y direction. Alright, then we want to make sure it's on the bed, so it didn't do something funny. So we say edit, drop model to bed. Okay, now it's definitely flat on the bed. Now we can make 6 copies of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Same thing for these. These all have these slots on the bottom. So there's 2 of those. So get rid of the extra one. Is that the extra one? Yeah. Okay, so that's this one. I'm going to flip that over again. Drop it on the bed just to make sure. And make a duplicate. Oops. There. Okay, so that takes care of that. And ditto for these guys. They have these slots on the bottom that probably need support. I mean, they might bridge okay, but there's no reason to print them that way. At least the PEI surface will look pretty nice as the outer. It'll just be kind of a, have like a nice texture to it. So, all right, here's my final arrangement. So I nested these 2 together by rotating one of them, and then I put all the pulleys and the pulley. What's this thing called? The traveling block in the center to fill up that space. I lined all these up, and I lined all these up. So now let's see if it thinks we need any support. I'm guessing it won't. Yeah, see, it doesn't think we need any support anymore. See, Okay, so that's a great solution. 7 hours, 51 minutes. So looking good to print this today, and we'll just keep going. So this all seems well designed to not need support. So hopefully this will print okay. Oh, there's some supports needed right here. Yeah, we definitely need supports here. How come it didn't figure that out? Okay, definitely needs supports. Okay, that's going to be a problem. So let's go back and put those in. Let's see. Do I have a... let's see what it does with that. Oh, I did put some there. Okay, good. Yeah, so we need some supports there. Anything else? This guy needs supports too. Okay. The rest of this should print okay, I believe, the way he's designed it. Guess we'll find out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.